And we're live for another episode of another one. We'd like to welcome everybody today to this episode number 6 of another one, where today we are trying something a little different. We have some people broadcasting remotely, and not people, one person, and we have everybody else from the cast on. Khadijah RBZ, K Swizzle, Love
Hey.
Kalia, Trey BZ, and yours truly, Rich Bees. So today we only really have 2 topics that we want to talk about unless somebody has something to branch off on. So
I
topic number
do.
1. What? Distortion?
Oh, sorry.
Well, topic number 1 that we want to talk about is health and wellness in the family. And what does that look like? So I want to start off by saying I give a big shout out to Khadijah RBZ for the health and wellness things that she's been doing for our family. And the funny part is that it's known whenever we go anywhere. Today we went to Vitamin Shopping. We went to kind of, they have little promotions every now and then, and they have a lot of people that come there and talk about different ways to be fit, healthy, and well, right? And so, one of the people said, "Is that your family?" He was like, "Yeah." They was like, "You look like y'all work out all day, every day."
Yep,
So,
that's what we
well, no, we don't.
do.
Be honest about that. But what we do is based on the food that Khadijah RBZ chooses to fix for us, which it's all healthy. So we want to kind of touch on that a little bit because maybe there's some transitional things, some changes that you need to get to maybe in your family, and that's totally up to you. So I'm not saying you have to do these things, but I am saying that you may want to do these things or choose to change some of the ways. Even if you don't do everything we do, you may want to just change some of the ways that you're eating so that way you too can be healthy and well and live a full life, right? Long life, because to me that's what it's about. Because if you're not here for your kid, if you're not here for your spouse, then what is this all for? So, Khadijah, RBZ, can you jump on and tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've done to change our diets and to change our health and wellness? You might want to press unmute so that way everybody can hear
Mm, Okay.
you. There you go.
Well, one of the major things that we've done is just incorporated more fruits and vegetables into our diet. Not to say that we didn't eat them before, but they were not um,
The
the
main thing.
main,
Yeah.
yeah. And our meal plates was filled with starches and meats, and we had our vegetables and even things that we interpreted as being vegetables, but um, they weren't the better ones to eat. So if there's anything that I would admonish people to do is ensure that throughout their day that they are incorporating fruits and vegetables in what they eat. You can have, believe it or not, you can have vegetables for your breakfast. If you were to have a smoothie, you could throw in some spinach or kale or greens, and add your fruits to it and have a nice, well-rounded smoothie, shake, breakfast shake, whatever you want to call it, for breakfast, and start your day off really, really great. Um, there's lots of things that you can do to incorporate fruits and vegetables. I think we kind of limit ourselves because we're like, oh, okay, I can't do that. But, there's so much out there. Just be creative. Some of the things that we've done is creativity. I know in a
Mm-hmm.
meal that I recently made, I asked Love Kalia, I said, well, what do you think about potatoes and spinach? And she was like, that should be fine. But that's not something that's the norm. You don't normally see like potatoes. We had red potatoes and spinach, and it was cooked together, and it was really, really great. So
Good.
it's just about being creative and not being afraid to try something different. And then I had a person who told, when we were going through the Engine 2 class, and the
Now, what is the
guy,
Engine 2 class? So that way people can understand and maybe they want to go check that out.
okay, well, Engine 2 is a diet. It's kind of like a plant-based diet, and it's something that a fire department, they incorporated it. It was like a 28-day save your life type diet, and it lowers your cholesterol and helps you to burn fat, lose weight, those type things.
Hmm.
And we participated in this 28-day challenge just as a means of trying something different and being a part of a group of people who were trying to enhance their health, but also having access to recipes and learning how to pair things together. So it really was a great thing that we did, and it's something that I would recommend that you try. Just Google Engine 2 diet, and you can, learn more about it. But it does get rid of the dairy, so don't expect to keep eating dairy, because dairy is, believe it or not very healthy for your systems, and that's something that we don't have anymore either. We don't drink dairy products. We don't use dairy products at all, period. We used to eat yogurt regularly. It's something that we all enjoy. Matter of fact, as we were transitioning, it's something that we were eating as a means to, eliminate like ice cream and stuff like that. But as we continue to learn and as we continue to evolve our diet, we decided that we wanted to eliminate all dairy, and so we no longer have the yogurt. And that
What
is
was the
part of,
kicker? Tell them about the kicker.
well, I mean, since you know the kicker, you tell them the kicker.
Excuse me, the David Beckham. So the David Beckham of the whole thing was the oils. Was when you cook your food in these oils.
Oh, well, you're jumping to something different now. I was
Oh,
talking about the dairy and stuff, and you done jumped to the
okay.
oil.
Okay. Let me back out real quick. Go ahead. Continue.
So, so we were even incorporating some of these things into the diet and just doing it real easy. And we would bring things home for the kids to try. And some of the things they liked, some of the things they did not like. And I am thankful for the children that we have, because they'll let us know, well, I don't like that, or Trey, he quick to be like he don't like something because he thinks he's the chef, the gourmet chef.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah, but the point that I was making about this is that Matt, the chef that was cooking the meals, he would say, just try it. He said it doesn't matter, that's how you find good recipes, just trying stuff out. And he says, and if you do fix it and it don't taste good, just throw some hot sauce on it and eat it.
Lord.
So, I've kind of taken that mindset, and I'm not afraid to try stuff. And if it don't taste all right, thankfully everybody in my house likes hot sauce, so we'll just run it on that food.
Another one.
Oh,
but another thing that we learned was about the oil, and we feel like we have to, a lot of people feel like it's necessary to use oil for so many different things. And I get it, because I was that person. You think, okay, well, I'm going to saute this garlic and this onion to put it on top of this, whatever we're cooking. And so what do? We get the oil, whether it's olive oil, whether it's coconut oil, whatever kind of oil it is. And we put it in the pan, and then we throw the stuff in there. Sometimes it might not be enough oil, or so it seems. And, we're just lading this stuff down with oil. But what happens is the oil extracts all the nutrients from these things, and it takes away from the true flavor of whatever we're cooking.
And calories.
Yes. Now, I will say this. There is a healthy amount of fat that you can get from oil, but it's all about doing things in moderation. So using a little bit of coconut oil for some things can be very good because you're getting some healthy fat from that. It's the same with olive oil, but you don't have to do it all the time for everything. So what I learned from him, like when I'm sauteing my garlic and my onion, because we love onions and we love garlic, and I do use that for a lot of things. Garlic is very good for you. Google it. And I do eat a clove of garlic because, once again, it's good for you. Google it. But I'll slice the onions, and I'll let my pan get a little bit warm, and then I'll throw it in there. And you might be like, with the pan being dry? Yes, with the pan being dry, because what happens is the onions will create yes, thank you, Rich.
Exactly.
They'll caramelize. You can smell it, and it smells so good. And what happens is, if it's starting to brown a little bit for you, you just get you a couple tablespoons of water, add it to it. You can hear it sizzling. But what that water does is it causes the onions to caramelize even more. You throw that garlic in there, and then you put that, oh, it's like tasty. And I dare you to try it. You will not want to go back to the oil, because what the oil does when you're doing that, it just makes it greasy. And who wants to have greasy food? You want to be able to taste it and really get the full flavor of what you're eating.
I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
Let me jump in real quick. I'm glad you said that, because
y'all making me hungry.
I'm sorry, boo. I think I need to make some of that.
Yeah, this is the new Cooking Khadijah show.
Yeah, you gotta make some of that and send it my way for me.
Wow.
What I've noticed is,
Why you in college?
when I eat certain foods now, like not certain foods, all foods, actually it gave me back my taste buds. Because the difference is, like, I used to add sugar to a lot of stuff. I used to add, all kinds of extra flavorings to things, but now it's like I can eat it and not really add much to it because I can actually taste it.
Right.
And that's a huge difference to what I was, tasting and consuming before.
Right. And that makes a difference because you can enjoy your food.
Right.
You can really get the flavor of what you're eating. That's why it's really good to use, I get the convenience of like buying all these flavored seasonings. I get that. It's very convenient. But when you use like natural herbs, like when you buy the basil and you just cut it up and add it, or you put the bay leaf in something, it just gives it a flavor that you don't get from these seasonings that are laden with, they're processed, and they're laden with salt and MSGs and just even coloring. And we all know that these dyes in our foods and things are not healthy for us. So, just explore using that. Explore using onion and garlic on things. It is so good, and it enhances the flavors of so many foods. And just try using it even when you're sauteing vegetables. I saute vegetables, and instead of going for the oil, I'll just do like I explained to you with my onion, then throw in the vegetables. Use lots of peppers: green pepper, red pepper, yellow pepper, orange pepper. Just make it beautiful. Make a colorful plate. And the more color you have, the more nutrient that you have, a variety of nutrients. You're not limiting your meal. And that's what it's all about. And I know it's not always easy to get that. Like if you're on the go or if you're away at college, you have to eat what is there for you. But just make wise choices. Make sure that you're having your fruits and your vegetables, because that's going to keep that gut healthy and things moving, because we want to keep things moving.
Now let me throw in something here. Let me throw this to the kids. So, and I'm saying kids, but the younger ones. So what I want to know is, has this made an impact on your life, a noticeable impact on your life, or do you think, oh, well, I can't have the ice cream, I'm missing my hot dogs and my, and hamburgers,
Barely.
I eat
Who had hamburgers?
my macaroni and cheese and my, the stuff that kids eat. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that kids love and they'll eat it all day. You know, I mean, what do you all feel about the changes that have been made in your diet starting this year?
Well, I mean, necessarily, it's not like everything was bad because I was never really like a huge fan of ice cream or like what hot dogs. It's not like that was just something that I was just enjoying all the time. So it's not like I was too
Far
what's the
gone.
word? Yeah, from what I was already having anyway. So it's not like it was a huge change for me. We just had some
Okay,
other things introduced, like different vegetables that I didn't know about.
but was it still? I mean, has it been a noticeable difference in maybe I don't know, your walk, talk, attitude, mindset, ability to try new things? I mean, has it changed you in any way, shape, or form?
I mean, I guess now I'm more open-minded to try different foods because a lot of things that I do eat, I know a lot of people like wouldn't even think about eating, like sardines. Nobody, whenever somebody talks about that, they're like, "That's disgusting." But I mean, it tastes really good, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty good for you.
Those
So
omega-3s, boo, them omega-3s.
yeah, so
Trey,
I
what you
think I'm
think?
more open-minded.
Okay, good. Trey, what you think?
Well, since you know me, I got lots of muscle. It makes it easier for me to
Well,
gain and maintain muscle mass.
Where it at though?
See, I would say something, but
where the muscles at, though?
you better stop.
Stop!
You better find the muscles, boy. But basically, yeah, it makes it easier for me to gain and maintain muscle mass, and like, and like I'm able to like do more
Your
than
energy. You have lots of energy. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, basically.
Yeah, you have. I can attest to the fact that you have always had energy, but I'm just saying, I think now you got a little bit more.
Boy.
We might need to give him some oil back.
Right.
Some kids calm. Okay.
Boy.
I mean, good. I mean, that's a good point, though. That is a good point. One thing I will say, and I'm gonna bring Kalia here in on just 1 second after I make this statement. So one thing that I noticed is in a very short amount of time, and this might not be the results for everybody else, but for me, I didn't even realize how round I had gotten, and in a short amount of time, I had lost a considerable amount of weight. And
Same.
since the changes
Boy.
since the changes have taken place, I mean, literally, like I continue to lose weight. Not that I'm even trying at this point. I'm actually trying to gain more muscle than I am lose weight, but it's what I would consider knocking off the bad weight and bringing in good weight now. And I think that everybody would need, even if let's say you currently weigh 225, right? Let's just say you weigh 225. Now, if you currently weigh 225 and you make some of these changes, it might knock you down to about, I don't know, maybe like 190, Now the thing about it is, once you change that diet and you start to do some physical exercise because you'll start to feel better, you may gain weight back.
More energetic.
Right? You may gain weight back. But when you gain weight,
muscle mass.
It'll be muscle mass. It'll be, more
gains.
Usable muscle and usable energy. So, but I want to bring Kalia in because, a lot of y'all might not know, but, she's off to college now. So, I want to know, are these changes that we've made in our eating, do you feel like they're changes that can be continued on even though you're not now in the house? Are these changes that you feel like you need to put in your own practice as you go on about your day, through college?
Well, I'm in the calf right now, but if I feel like
You're Dusty.
Oh, she's on location.
Yeah, I feel like
Tell us what your food options are.
it's kind of harder when you're in like a place like college because there are so many other options that aren't healthy, I guess you can say. And it's kind of hard when everybody else is eating, everything that you want to eat, and you're kind of just over there eating some iceberg lettuce because that's all they got.
Okay. Well, kind of like Trey just said, what options do you have? If you're in the calf right now, give us a on the location, ground
For
zero.
all the foods that are.
What do you have location? I mean, in your choices that you feel like fit what we've been doing, the changes that we've made.
Um,
The people want to know. The people want to know.
People.
I mean, well, today I don't think they really have much today.
Mm-mm.
What do they
They
have?
got some. They have some little wraps. It looks like it has meat in it though. They got some bananas and apples and oranges.
Okay.
Um,
When you
But
take you a couple of those back to your room.
they have some mashed
Boy.
potatoes,
Okay.
Okay.
and I feel like that's about it that we can eat.
Now,
'Cause, I mean,
are
Do
you?
they have salad?
Uh-huh.
no, not today.
Do they have what do they have that can go in the wraps? Because like I know like they might have hummus or tuna or something like that. Is that available to you?
Oh no, not today.
Not today. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Not today. Not in my house. Ouch.
Okay. So in this case, what do you think is you can eat out of the choices?
Well, I mean, they have some other options here, like pizza and stuff, which is what I'm about to eat because that's just
Boy.
not really. I
Do
mean,
they have
it's either-
spinach?
No. Because, I mean, they have, what do you call it? Chicken sandwiches with everything, but I don't know if I want a chicken sandwich.
Well, yes.
You don't want a chicken
You
sandwich.
better not get that chicken sandwich. Chicken sandwich.
You better not gain that freshman 15. 10.
Oh,
Yeah, that's my hardest thing to avoid right now.
Okay.
this is from what you're telling me is available to you. Are there like do they have any peppers or any broccoli or anything like that?
No, not today.
Wow. So
Yeah,
there's no vegetarian options.
Nothing except for that wrap, but I think that had meat in it, but that's all I could see.
So
Okay,
is
well
this
maybe you should ask
free?
them because it might not be no meat in it.
Yeah, because
Because
okay.
I don't think that they would not have vegetarian options.
And the thing that I was gonna say is that you cannot be afraid to ask
Right.
one when you're at your food source what is one in whatever it is, and
Mhm.
two, because they should be able to go find it, especially when you say, hey, I don't eat this,
Right.
Yeah.
and not to mention you're paying for it or we're
Right.
paying for it. So I mean, you need to know, and so
Mhm.
I would say literally, you have to step out of your box if you're an introvert, to ask those questions, and then if they don't have it, say, well, is there any way that you can bring me some this or this out the back? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To make
Right,
them
because
feel
what I
good.
was going to suggest is if you get you a piece, if you want to go with the pizza,
Yeah.
then you can like if they had spinach or something like that, then you could load you some spinach on top of that pizza and
Don't load it.
peppers and whatever, and you can have you something that's balanced there.
Okay.
While that's
Well,
not my first choice for you, at least that is a choice.
Mhm.
That's good. That's good. Making something out of a situation that may not be the most conducive.
Right.
Okay. Well,
So
I'm gonna see if I can do that,
Okay.
and I'm gonna eat.
Okay.
So I guess this is me logging out early.
Wow.
all right. Well, we thank you for being on today.
Yes.
You have fun. Make sure that you're eating well, living well, making
Yep.
healthy choices, and we'll talk to you on the B side. We love ya.
Love you
Love
guys
you.
too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right. So
I
great.
do think
And
that's
that
a
brings
good
us to a
point, though,
good time.
Rich. before you jump off to your next subject, I do think that's a very good point, though. Regardless of whether you're a vegetarian or whether you're just eliminating certain foods from your diet, you can't be afraid to ask questions about the food that you're getting. In restaurant, like Rich has some food allergies, and so he has to be aware of what he's eating. And I really think that if people took on the mindset that what I'm eating can affect my life,
Right.
then I really think that we would ask more questions. We would look at what we're eating. We would pay more attention to what we're eating, because it's literally the food that you eat can affect your life. People eat their way to good health, and people eat their way into bad health.
Right. Not starve yourself into good health.
Right. You don't, yeah. So, like, if you're trying to lose weight, starving yourself isn't the route to go. But changing, okay, good job. Love Kalia said that she did find some salad, so that's an option for her. I'm just really big on making sure that you have some vegetables, because that's what your body needs. Some um, vegetables.
Right.
Greens are very good for you. But yeah, just to piggyback off of what Rich said, don't be afraid to ask questions. You're in a restaurant, if you know that you don't eat eggs, you're going to ask, hey, is eggs in this? Or if you have a peanut allergy and you know that if you eat peanuts that your throat is going to close up, you're going to ask questions about that.
A
So if,
milk allergy, and you are lactose intolerance,
oh my
and you
gosh,
sit there and you ask for a salad, and in that salad they have loaded up the cheese,
right.
and it doesn't say anywhere that this salad has cheese on it. So you definitely have to ask. You have to
Yeah.
ask
And don't
before
be
you go.
afraid.
Don't
And
be
one thing I can say about Rich is whenever we go out to eat, boy, he sure be asking questions. It take him about 30 minutes to order something off the
afraid.
menu. I try to encourage him to look at a menu before we get there so that he can have himself together, but it just seems like it never really works out.
I like talking to
But
people,
okay, well, maybe that's what it is, because I tell you, he sure does take forever to order.
and that's why
But
we are here today. I love talking to people.
but just ask questions.
Yeah.
Ask your grocer. Hey, is this where do you all get your oranges? Is this imported? Ask these things because they're important.
Right. Do you have gluten-free options?
Yeah, and what I'm finding, the more that we ask these questions, the more that we realize these options are not available everywhere. And the more we realize that people have no knowledge of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they have no knowledge of these things, they may be dealing with issues that they don't necessarily have to deal with if they had the knowledge to better themselves.
Right. So that's a big plug that we can put in here, for different restaurants and different stores. There are a lot of people now who actually are, aka gluten-free, celiac disease or whatever. There are people who don't eat milk. There are people who, don't eat tree nuts. There are people who don't eat soy, because a lot of the vegetarian options are soy.
Yep, they are.
So you have to be, literally, if you listen to this and you are making decisions for what do you call it, meetings and gatherings, make sure there's options for those people who
Don't eat like you.
like you. Yes. And even if it is a salad, it is what it is, just make sure the salad doesn't have any of those adverse things on it, because those are most people's
Like cheese.
or things that they can't eat. It's that wheat, it's that soy, it's milk, which, dairy based. I put it like that. Those are like one of the three highest things.
That's in everything. And please know that we don't profess to know it all, and
Nope.
we don't think that we know it all.
Nope.
We are works in progress, and we're learning every day. We're learning something new. We as a family, we sit down and we literally have conversations about this stuff. Now, whether right, last night we were having a conversation, and Trey Bees was like, "Do we really have to talk about this?" But the thing about it is, I really want my family to be informed, and we cannot be afraid to hear things and to do our due diligence do our own research. And that's all we want to encourage our listeners to do, is just take what we hear. If you hear something and it sparks interest in it, just do your research, do your due diligence, because it is about you and your body, your health. That's the bottom line. We're not perfect. You know, the other day we were around some chicken, and we were like, dang, that smells good. So I mean, we're human too. But the thing about it is, it's just about the discipline, what you want for yourself, what you're trying to achieve for yourself. Those are the things that matters.
Physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Yes.
So with that being said, we don't want to make our sponsor mad.
Oh,
We want to
no.
make sure that we say that another one is brought to you by Dynamic Works. The quality you deserve, period. So don't forget to ask questions. That's what we were just ending with. And I will say this, that if you have any type of question in reference to graphic design, videography, website design, anything that has to do with the production world, call Dynamic Works. Give them a call, 919-980-8090. The quality you deserve, period. So in the midst of paying those bills, now let's go to our next subject, because health and wellness, I think that we did a great job on it, and hopefully we'll get some feedback from our viewers and they would think so too, because the only thing we're here for is to help you out and for our family to be able to give you little pointers, and you can kind of see how we get through issues and concerns and problems, because every family has one. So the next subject that we want to talk about, and it's funny that Love Kalia dropped off. It's so funny when this next topic is about to drop.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know what she's going to say about missing this part, but so sorry for you. All right. So our next topic on tap is parties. Like,
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah, dun, dun, dun. I don't have that, but Trey B's does in the sound effects. I don't know where our engineer is. There you go. Great job, engineer. A little delayed, so you get a -4. Okay. You're making points today. So anyway, in this party vein, so I see a lot of people lately, you know, throwing parties. It's coming up on the end of summer, right? School is back in some cases. Some people are going back in the next 2 weeks or so, you know. So everybody's throwing a party. There's everything from back to school parties. There's black and white parties. There's
Day parties, night
day
parties, afternoon parties, evening parties, morning parties, you name it, there's parties.
You know what I'm saying? The 4 in the morning
Hawaiian parties.
roll out the bed
Right.
party. You know what I'm saying? But the party I haven't heard of was the prayer party. I haven't heard of
right.
the blessing party. Where's that at?
Before the end of August.
You know, hey, we might need to throw one, the blessing party. Just go around and just bless people.
Hey,
'Cause
run
I'm
it.
not mistaken, that's what we talked about on the last.
We sure did.
Really? Crickets on the blessing party? Man,
It was a joke. That
everybody wants a blessing. Everybody needs a blessing.
we all want blessings. We all need blessings.
Blessings.
We all got blessings. You get a blessing, and you get a blessing, and you get a blessing.
So anyway, with all these parties that are going on, you know, what I really was, I was gonna try to go from the angle of parties and college and trying to stay on track. So since she's not on here, since Lovely is not on here, I don't really want to go that route. But I do want to go to family parties. I guess you would AKA call them cookouts, because that's what most people would consider a family party. But
Depends on the demographic.
depends on the demographic. That is true. But I think we also talked about a party on a previous episode where kids got drunk,
Right.
right? Access to alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
right? But what about parties where the kids don't have access to alcohol, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the adults, though, are wasted.
Who's taking care of these kids?
Not only who's taking care of the kids, but what are we showing the kids?
That's good, Rich Bees. That's good.
Because it's like there was supposed to be a party, you know, around our neighborhood, we got, they were talking about having a karaoke night, right? And the karaoke night was, obviously, karaoke can kind of be a party, right? Or it's a party atmosphere, I'll say that. But before this karaoke, they had a wine tasting, okay? So there was a lot of adults and stuff going over to the wine tasting. One person out of this group, right, of planning people, realized that would not be great because the karaoke part was supposed to be for families, right? So what you would have is all the adults that were at the wine tasting in here now
Inebriated.
Huh?
Inebriated.
What was that word?
Inebriated.
Inebriated, yeah. I mean, yeah, but I'm saying like uninhibited, meaning they're wide open.
They're free.
Yeah, they're free. Okay, they're free because now they've got a little spirit in them, right? And not the right spirit, but they have a spirit in them, and they're ready to just go wild at this karaoke. Well, it was a good thing to me that the karaoke was canceled once this one person out of this group of planning realized that wouldn't be a good thing for the kids to see.
Right.
So I would really love to hear you all's take on that situation, and any situation actually where you have adults that are, whatever word you said, Khadijah RB,
tore out the frame, wasted, ripped, whatever word that you want to call it, but they're gone, and then the kids are looking at how these adults are acting. Right.
What does that look like for the kids seeing this, and then the way that they govern themselves? Because a lot of, like, I've been to an event before where that is taking place, and it looks as if the kids want to act out those same behaviors, even from the way they hold their juice, to the way that they are interacting with other people. So are we saying that is a good thing? You know what I mean? Like, in front of them, are we saying, we're not saying it to them, but we're showing them that this is how you have a good time? So what are you guys' takes on events like that? Do you think it should all be parties with no alcohol? I mean, or do you think there should be a limit?
Well, I think that if you're old enough, you should know that you shouldn't be drinking, and if your parents taught you right, you should know that you shouldn't be drinking anyway. So, like, you shouldn't make everybody change just because your child doesn't know how to make correct decisions. So you're saying everybody shouldn't have to change just because this one kid does not know how to control themselves.
Okay, so are you saying that from a child standpoint, they need to control themselves and the adults can be drunk as they want to?
Well, of course the kids are going to need a way to get home, but if they have that figured out, then the adults should be able to do whatever they like. Let's say before they go to the party and they know that they might have a couple of drinks, and they should know that, hey, at this time somebody should be able to take my child home, or maybe I can call an Uber or something for my child to be able to get home safely and me not have to drive.
But it's okay.
That's a good point, but I think that was a little off of the subject. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. What were you going to say, Khadijah B?
I was just going to say that I think that to help Trey understand your point, it's not the children drinking, it's just the parents drinking. And this could be parents of any child, 18 and under. So the child might be 5 years old, the child might be 13 years old. If you're at a party, a cookout, a get-together, a gathering of adults, and these adults are drinking, and they're drinking to the point that they're drunk, they're inebriated, they can't, handle themselves. From the perspective of a child, what do you think of that? Do you think that's okay? Do you feel like the parents should maybe not drink as much, or drink to the point where they, can't
Be coherent.
Right, because there's still children there that have to be taken care of. You know, if you going up to somebody and you're a child and that person is drunk and that's your parent and you trying to ask your parent, you know, if you can do something, how are they able to think clearly through what you're asking them? Or even if there's an emergency with that child, you know, how do you handle that if you're drunk as a skunk?
Hmm? But like, uh, but again, the child should know that they shouldn't be doing the same thing that their parents are doing.
No, we're not
Because
saying
they,
we're not
what was
saying
you
that
about
the
to say?
child is drinking. We're just talking about
I
the
know.
adult.
Right. We're talking about what does that look like to you? Okay. Say you go to a party, right? Say you go to a gathering, cookout or whatever, and all the adults are drunk, right? What
Mm,
what does that? What do you say when
I
you see
say, well, first,
Trey
like,
gonna say these people in here they dusty.
that?
yep, that's probably what I would say, and I would just keep on going around with my business.
Okay. So you're mature enough to see them being drunk and all that, and it doesn't change your mindset towards that adult or toward um, anybody else. So you see them, they're drunk, and you're like, man, they drunk, or man, they dusty, and then you just say, what? I'm gonna stay away from them, or I'm just gonna
No,
go over here. I mean, I'm trying to
no,
figure out, like, really, like, you
that
know,
doesn't change my opinion on a person.
okay, so their drinking
That's
behavior
good.
doesn't say it doesn't dictate. So basically, what you're saying is you give them a pass that night or that day.
I'll give them a pass like every night if they're drinking. I don't. It doesn't matter. Like if that's what they want to do with their lives, then let them do that with their lives. Like yeah, I might tell them, hey, maybe drinking is bad for your health. Maybe you shouldn't drink as much. I might say something like that, but I wouldn't be like that. Wouldn't change my opinion on the person.
Okay, okay. Uh, Case Whistle.
Are you asking me if what's the question? Because I'm getting kind of lost in the drinking thing here. I feel like there's so many different perspectives.
Well, there is,
I don't
but
even remember where the
the perspective that we're asking is you being under 18. What is your viewpoint if you're going to an event and the adults are just gone?
mm, I think though I'm like pretty responsible and I I would like I feel like I would know what I would need to do. I think I would be kind of worried and confused and I would feel like my parents they shouldn't have brought me here first of all if they were going to get hammered drunk. And if they were going to drink, they shouldn't have gone so far that they don't even know I'm even here anymore, or they do know I'm here and they don't really care. I feel
Okay,
like everybody should be. I know this isn't everyone because everybody's not like this, but I feel like everybody should be responsible enough to know when to stop
okay.
and to know when too
That's a good
much,
point.
when it's gone too far.
So you don't think there needs to be a mandatory limit at a gathering that each person up there can only have maybe two drinks, maybe one drink, maybe somebody needs to be divvying out these drinks as to see how far they've gone.
Mm,
They just need to be free to grab as many drinks as they want, and they should know their limit and be an adult about the situation and walk
I
away.
feel like that would be in a fantasy world that would be really great, but I think right here where we are, there should be if this is an event, like if you're at a bar, I mean whatever, but I'm saying if
Right.
you're at like an event, like a family event or like a wedding or a place where they would provide drinks, but it's not
But it's a family
a bar
oriented event.
setting or like a club,
Right. It's a
yeah,
family oriented.
then I feel like there should be a limit and some stipulations that everyone should abide by.
Hmm. Khadijah RBZ, what you thinking?
Well, I agree with Kaya. You know, in a perfect world, we would expect that everyone could be responsible for themselves. But being that that's not the case, you do have to take extra measures to ensure that there is safety on all parts. And so I think that if there is a gathering and there are children there, it's a family oriented event, that maybe there should be a cap on how much someone has to drink. Maybe a 2 drink limit. You know, if
Mhm.
that way, you know, it evens the playing field. We ain't trying to be, you know, funny towards any one person or anything like that. It's just, you know, we want to ensure that there's safety. And at this event, we are limiting your drink amount to 2 drinks. And
Or if you're
I think,
lightweight, 1 drink.
well,
If
I
you're
mean,
like,
I don't think that you
can't
necessarily,
exaggerate
as
their
the
weight, but
right, you know, I don't think that we or whomever might be having the event is able to gauge, you know, who's a heavy drinker or who can handle it or who can't. So you just put your stipulation out there, and then based off of what drinks you're offering, you know, you say that if you having like hard liquor and stuff like that, then maybe you need to, you know, say you can only have this. If you just having maybe some beer, then maybe you can just have this or just some wine. I mean, I don't know. It depends. You know, you have to look at what you're offering and who you're offering it to. But I really think that what happens is a lot of times there's no accountability.
hmm
And for that reason, people just do whatever they want to do.
I think most people don't realize that it falls back usually, no matter whether it's an adult or a child, it falls back on the person who throws the event.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because if adverse things happen and it's your event, then it usually gets tagged to you. Well, you shouldn't have been. Well, you should have. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think even if something really adverse happens as a result, um, you know, it definitely comes back to that person throwing the event.
And I think that that's
Sometimes they're
why,
facing criminal charges.
yeah, and I think that that's why that family was that we talked about a couple weeks ago. I think that that's why criminal charges were brought up on them, because it did go back to the fact that they held this event and there should have been some accountability or responsibility on their part. And I agree, because, you know, somebody has to be um, the one that says, okay, you know, I got my eye out. I think about, you know, how people, you know, they invite people over to their house and they're drinking and stuff, and then it comes a point where they leave, where the people have to leave. So if you know that somebody has been at your house and they had 10 beers and they're getting ready to drive themselves home, you know, who steps in and says, hey, you know, maybe you shouldn't be driving, or hey, you know, let me call you a cab and tomorrow we can arrange to get your car to you, or, you know, why don't you stay here tonight? I mean, who says that? And I understand that there might be people who get a little aggressive and they're like, I can drive, I can drive. But at some point, somebody has got to be the one that stands up and says, hey, we can't do this, or you can't do this, or we not going to do this, whatever the case may be.
Well,
Kind
you
of
know
takes
what?
us.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know, maybe, and I know we're coming to the end of our show, but maybe what can be done, and this is totally thinking outside the box. This is, you know, for the person who's passive aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe there's a lot of people out here who's passive aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what they can do is, instead of even being confrontational at all, just stop the drinks from flowing first. You know, hey, you know, drinks are out now. You know, whatever. Once you realize that it's, you know, you're like, okay, yeah, I think everybody's, you know, pretty good. You know, stop the drinks from flowing, put them up, whatever, and then have conversation. Sit down and just have conversation, and, you know, talk. You know, create a way for people to just stay talking and laughing and joking, maybe play a game, something that takes a while. Because if you do that, then they can sober up.
Well, they ain't, it depending upon how much they had to drink. They ain't gonna sober up but so much now. I mean,
Well,
I get what your point is, but I think it goes a bit farther than that. It goes it goes to the point of, if this person is hosting an event, they have to be mindful of the fact that there may be people who come to this event who may get drunk. What do I do about it? Or how can I avoid this? Or how can I help them so that they're safe? It goes back to responsibility, being responsible and being accountable. Because to me, that's what makes it well, it makes it a little more safe than it would if you don't have that. Right. So while I get, stop the drinks from flowing, yes, you should. Play a game, talk, do whatever, yes, you should. But that person ain't going to be that sober after playing a game or talking for an hour or 2 hours even. If anything, is going to be settled down and they really probably just want to go to sleep. And if that's the case, the last place they need to be is behind the wheel of a car, and they feel a little tired.
Right. That's true.
So,
that's true. I mean, so then maybe another form of attack is at the onset when everybody gets there before we even crack juice. Before they even crack the alcohol open. Hey, everybody, we're giving drinks. This is as many as you can get, and that's it. You know what I mean? That way you set the standard at the beginning when they're sober. Unless they came ripped, and then they don't get no drink.
Yeah, I mean, but take their keys. Everybody, if they coming over and they drinking, they put their keys in the basket. If, they are in a good place, meaning they might have just had 1 or 2 drinks or whatever, and they can handle themselves to drive, they can get their keys back. If not, then you explore other options and you make that known at the beginning while they're sober, like you said. So you tell them, if you drinking too much and you're drunk, what do you want to do? Do you want to spend the night here, or do you want me to call you a cab and the cab take you home? The other day I heard a story, and a young lady was drunk, and her friend had taken her keys, and her friend wanted the keys, and the girl was like, I'm not giving you your keys. She said too many people are wrapped around trees because they thought they were okay. And I was just like, now that, in my opinion, is a friend. I'm not giving you these keys. I don't care how much you yell, because the person was yelling and fussing and flipping out. But that friend thought more of her friend than to give her keys, even though she was behaving this way. And
I saw the same type of thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And honestly,
that's the type of friends that you need in your life. You need people in your life who care about you, who care about your well-being, who want to see you healthy, who want to see you growing, and who want to see you prospering, and will speak good things in your life. And if they see that you're making the wrong choices and the wrong decisions, they're not afraid to speak up in love.
In love. And that goes to the video that I'm about to say. On Facebook, I saw this video of this dude and his friend. His friend was drunk, and he had his daughter with him, and he was supposed to be taking her back to her mama. And the friend who wasn't drunk, like, dude was very adamant. Give me my keys. Man, you ain't no friend, or whatever. And the dude said, listen, I love you so much that if you touch that door handle on that car, trying to get in that car, I'm gonna knock you out. He said, I know you're gonna be mad at me tomorrow, and I'll take that. You'll be here tomorrow to be mad at me.
Yep.
And that dude reached for the door, and dude knocked him out.
Wow.
And he said, and when he hit him, he said, man, I am so sorry, and I know you're gonna be mad, but I hope they play this video for you because, dude, you're not driving.
Wow.
I mean, to me, yes, I would be pissed, but that is a friend.
Yeah.
Especially once he sees that video, sees how much he was ripped.
Yeah.
And
a lot of times we feel like we're okay. A lot of times we feel like we're in a good place.
Right.
And we're not. And sometimes it takes someone outside of us to say to us, you're not okay. And that's why I thank God for Holy Spirit, because Holy Spirit is that check. And I thank God for people in my life who have a relationship with Holy Spirit and they're led by Holy Spirit, and they can look at me and they can check me when it's necessary.
Man.
That's what it's all about.
What a friend to have.
Yep. What a friend we have in Jesus.
That is a wonderful way to end this episode with Jesus and really good friends. That's a great way to end.
Jesus and really good friends. Wow.
So we'll see you guys next week.
We thank y'all for tuning in this week. Hope you liked it. And if you didn't, and tell us you didn't like it. At least we know you listen. So make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you look out for our next episode. And hey, man, we love you, and that's why we're telling you things we tell you. Another one out.
Bye.